Hello. Today I want to tell you how to handle money so that it works for you in the future. Using my example, I will tell you how it works. I am a private investor and I don't work for money, but money works for me. This allows me to be financially independent. I can skip work and spend time just sharing knowledge about handling money. This is all just because I don't live from salary to salary and can spend my time on something more interesting. And now I will share with you some secrets of financial literacy. Do you know what it is? Financial literacy, it is a science about money, like a math is a science about numbers, or like a geography a science about countries. This science will not be taught at school, college or even at university. But the sooner we learn to handle money, the sooner it will start working for us. What does riches mean to you? On the screen you can see many things that most people imagine when they think about riches. Yes, these are some brands, expensive cars, yachts, phones, and so on. Do you agree with this? If yes, then this is not true. Let's talk why I think so. Which of these people do you recognize? You probably only recognized Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, but that doesn't matter. What do you think all these people have in common? They all had millions of dollars. Notice the man on the right of the screen who won a big money in the lottery. According to statistics, 95% of people who win the lottery are left with nothing for the second year. People who make a lot of money aren't always rich either, because riches doesn't really depend on how much you earn, it depends on how much you could save. And in fact, Mike Tyson, Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, Will Smith and this man who won the lottery, all of them had a large amount of money, but in the end they were left with nothing. Johnny Depp thought he will get $20 million every year, and he had really good roles in movies, he got a lot of money, but at some moment he stopped getting movie roles. He thought that he would always have 2 or 3 movies a year, and he would get 50 to 60 millions of dollars for that. But he had no savings, he spent a lot and took a lot of loans. As a result, he became bankrupt. Will Smith have earned a large amount of money before he was 22 years old. But he didn't think about the fact that he had to pay taxes, then he paid big fines for a long time. As a result, he had large debts to the government. Mike Tyson, famous boxer, also earned a lot of money, and then he was also left with nothing. He tried to act in films and earn money there, but in the end he also spent it again. And even now he is in a bad financial situation. Why do you think all this happened? Why did they all face such situation? This is all because these people had a low level of financial literacy. What is the financial formula of riches? There are 3 most important rules of financial literacy. The first rule of financial literacy is, income minus expenses must always be greater than 0. For example, if you earn 500 manats, but spend 300 manats, 500 minus 300 equals 200. We understand that 200 is more than 0. Therefore, the riches formula works. But if, for example, you earn 500, but spend 600, do you have a formula of riches? Of course not. The second rule of financial riches is, you must always have a financial airbag, or, in other words, a cash reserve. A financial airbag is the same as an airbag in a car, and it only works when some kind of accident or unforeseen situation occurs, then it protects you. As an example, we can take the COVID-19 epidemic. Imagine that you were earning money and suddenly the company declared a pandemic and said that for the next 3 months you will not go to work and will not receive any salary. If you didn't have a financial airbag, then you won't have enough money, not just to pay rent, but even to buy food. Therefore, it is very bad when you don't have it at all and good when you try to save at least 10% of your salary. You need to save up for an airbag, and then it will save you in difficult times. The third rule is, you need to have more sources of income and passive income. On the screen we can see many streams that flow into one large deep river, and you can also see a tree, which has a very big root system. What really happens to the tree? The tree has one main root growing in the first year of its life, and then for 10 years it spreads its root system throughout the soil. In the 10th year, the main root falls off, and if the tree has not spread its roots widely enough, then a small blowing of wind can drop the tree and it simply dies. Imagine that tree is you and the main root is your salary, and if you live only on your main root, that is salary, then anything can happen. For example, you can be fired or your employer closes. And if you don't have additional roots, that is, there are some other sources of income that feed you, that will help you survive. Plus, if you don't have the financial airbag that we talked about before, it will be very difficult for you. Any blowing of wind, crises, can bring us down and make us suffer. It's the same with streams. If there are a lot of streams flowing into a river, it is unlikely to ever dry up. But the fewer streams that flow into the river, if it is very hot, the river will dry up completely. You need to take care not only of the place where you will work, but also there, in order to try to create an additional source of profit. This source can be created if you learn to save. Because if you earn money and have learned to save a small part for a financial bag, then in the future you can invest part of this money and receive income from it. Today we will talk a lot about investments. Don't let this word scare you. When we mention a word, invest, you can simply imagine a mechanism of increasing money without our participation. This could be a bank deposit, bonds, property rental, etc. Also, to increase sources of your income, you can start monetizing your talents and hobbies. And now, when we have discussed with you the 3 basic principles of financial literacy, we move on to why we are doing all this. Yes, we want to form capital. What is capital? Did you know that squirrels forget where they hide their nuts? When they bury them, they forget where they planted them. Nature did so that the squirrel forgets this. But in fact, each squirrel grows many trees for future generations. That is, in theory, nature did this so that the squirrel of today will help the squirrel in the future. In principle, capital is the money that you did not spend and saved. How much salary do you want to earn? For example, 700 manat. How much do you want to spend? For example, 500 manat. How much do you have left? That's right, 200 manat. You put these 200 manats into your financial bag, and the next month you again earned 700 manats and spent 500. Yes, you again had 200 manats left and you again fill up your financial bag. When the financial bag is full and has become sufficient, you begin to form capital. First you fill your financial bag, and then you begin to grow your tree. What is good about capital? Because this is the money you have left. Let's say you have saved 1,000 manats, you can invest them and get interest on them in a future. For example, you put them in a bank deposit at 10 to 15% and you get 100 to 150 manats on top every year without doing anything. Let's just say that you just earned money once, invest them and there become more money without doing anything. Capital is like a tree that needs care, that is, we take a seed, we take care of it, we must be patient enough so that it takes root, gives a stem, and this stem grows into a huge powerful tree, which will then give you fruits, and the most interesting thing that in each fruit you will then find the same seeds that can be planted again and grow even more trees, that is. This is exactly how compound interest works. This is how nature works. Do you know the story about the creator of chess? When the creator of chess, the Indian wise man Sissa, showed his chess to the king, he liked it so much that he said, "I am ready to pay any amount for your invention," and the creator of chess said that I don't need much, you can put a grain of rice on each cell, but so that on each cell the amount of rice is doubled, that is on the first cell there is 1 grain of rice, on the second 2, on the third 4 and so on 8, 16, 32, 64, 128 and so on. And of course the king agreed. He gave this task to his accountants and said, "Calculate how much there will be. Do you think 1 kilogram pack of rice is enough to fill this entire board? Okay, if I will say that there won't be enough, do you think 5 or 10 packs of rice will be enough? What if we will take 100, 1,000, 10,000 packs? Do you think this will be enough or not? Okay, let me help you. 1 pack of rice isn't even enough to fill the first half of the board, because the number that comes out in the end is this terrible number. 18 quintillion, 446 sextillions, 744 billion, 73 million and so on. We just doubled 1 grain of rice 64 times, but in the end we got a number that is simply limitless, and in fact the same thing can happen with your capital. Okay, you will not grow it there to quintillions, but only the principle of increasing your capital is important here. How to turn 1 manat into 1 million. This can be done using a very simple formula. If you invest 1 manat today and you get 15% a return on it per year, you can double the invested amount every 5 years. That is, in theory, every invested manat can double every 5 years. Look, you had 1 manat, then double it. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 and 1000. That is, 1 manat turns into 1000 after 10 doublings. Let's go further. 2000, 4000, 8000, 16,000, 32,000, 64,000, 128,000, 256,000, 512,000 and million. That is, 1 manat turns into 1 million manats after 20 multiplications. If we assume that doubling occurs every 5 years, then in 100 years you can turn 1 manat into 1 million. Of course, this raises the question, we don't live for 100 years? Yes, but we do not invest 1 manat. That is, if you start, for example, with 100 manat and you don't just put this money in and leave it for 10 years, but if you sometime add money to your capital and your income minus expense formula works correctly, then you will already be ahead of those guys who spend everything they earn or also take out a loan for something they don't need. I would like to recommend you several books that will help you to direct your finances from your childhood. First of all, I recommend you the book, A Dog Called Money, by Bodo Schaefer. The book is about a talking dog named Money, who teaches a 12-year-old girl how to direct her money and at the same time helps her parents get out of a difficult financial situation. The second book, Investing for Kids, by Dylan Redling and Allison Tom. This is an interesting story in illustrated format about how the world of money works. After reading this book, you will know how to save, invest and grow money. The book also contains interesting tasks about financial literacy. The third book is Robert Kiyosaki's bestseller, Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book will open to you the principles and laws of success and financial independence. This book contains many techniques about financial management that will be useful to you in the future. By learning the secrets of handling money, you won't have to work for money all your life. You will know how to make money work for you. Ask your questions in the comments to this video, we will be happy to answer them. Thank you for your attention. We really hope that this topic was useful to you. Like and subscribe to our channel. Bye bye.